baseball for the like we talked about.
Just stay away from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good morning and welcome to the Hodgepodge. Sports Live and everything. Our folks hang today. We're excited about that. ML baseball, exciting divisional series are set. We'll talk about those. Hodge, Misty, and Josh back together. Nobody's off. Nobody's late. Everybody's here. Good times. Misty, how are we?
Good. I know in the parking lot, he was like, "Hi, old friend." And I was like,
Heavy on
It was on the old
and I'm
friend,
feeling
yeah. No, it is. It is good. And we had Tyler Kalin last week, which part of Tyler Cable Law Firm, Cable Law Firm College Football Report. We'll talk about that. A lot of good stuff. Last week we had some upsets, if you count. Who would have thought we would say Alabama over Georgia was that upset? And so we'll talk about that. Lots of town showdown this week. Mike Fetchy, the athletic director at Wiley, will be in, and our guest picker, kind of excited, Ricky Bacon. He's going to be our guest picker. Did something really cool this week with teachers. And anyway, Josh, we had our Texas Farm Bureau. Muirden was our big week last week against Holiday. Another upset. Holiday was like number 4 in the state, and he had a touchdown kickoff return, and a lot of good football being played around the big country.
Very much so. That was a game that I didn't drive to Holiday. Watched it on the old YouTube feed, but he did have a heck of a game. He's got some skills, so I was glad to see that. But you're right. Holiday had scored like 55 points a game or something like that going into that, and Jim Ned just ran out in front of him early and maintained it. So it was a good week for the Indians.
Well, and it is, like I said, exciting week. You've got Abilene, Wiley, and Cooper playing tonight, both 1-0 in district, both 3-2 on the year. And I joked, I wasn't joking, I said that this 7 years old, the series is that this is the first time Cooper Wiley, as a guy doing the broadcast, played them later in the year. What's the first time there's been district titles at stake or a trip out to El Paso to avoid at stake, but tonight's the first time where it's only 1-0, but both teams undefeated in district going against each other. So going into that tonight. Again, I mentioned Major League Baseball divisional rounds are set. Exciting game. Not exciting if you take 4-0, but you have game 3, which I think game 3 sounds kind of neat, even though it's not game 7. A lot of last night coaching, managing for his later. Start that again. Lawrence Hall, Abilene Online.com without the news that Bruce Bochy is not coming back to be the Texas Rangers manager in 2026. Josh, briefly, we'll talk more about it later. Why is Bruce gone?
Well, the last 2 seasons just didn't really work. And last year was bad, but there was I guess a little bit more. Well, and they weren't going to fire Bruce Bochy. His contract expired, so
he got
everyone leaves, shakes hands and goes their separate ways. But this year was a disappointment, and they made changes there in the middle of the year, which is, on Bochy to do so with a new hitting coach that obviously didn't fix things. The team is kind of in a transition from that older veteran team to bringing in more young guys, and maybe it's just time to change perspective also. But the thing is, I mean, Bochy's a famer. he'll be a Rangers Hall of Fame member. You know, like he doesn't have to wait 5 years like the MLB Hall of Fame. So no, there's not really a hard feelings type of thing. I don't think here. I think it was just this is a transition and it's time to do something different.
Well, I think if they're smart, they should go ahead and put him in the. Go ahead and book a date, put a bobblehead, maybe a little wobble leg out the pitcher's mound, and have that set for next year. Again, another part of all on Port last night, got to be a part of the Habitat for Humanity homecoming gala. That was fun and all that. So raised a lot of money. That was cool. So let's Ryder Cup. You guys again very. Very disappointing. I thought it was a must-win for Americans in the golf world. Unfortunately, I guess must-win doesn't mean anything to the Americans. Lost, and now we'll have to wait 2 more years to do that. Some of the talk, and I want to ask you, I know y'all probably didn't watch as much of it, you might have, but what was your take on what is the line? There was a lot of stuff. Even the American golfers were not fans of some of the things that were being said. Rory had to turn around and say a few things that he said some things back to a fan. What's the line in a situation like that? And really, I guess every sporting event. What's your right as a fan?
I don't know. I feel like golf is a little different. Like, I'm trying to think of how to say this. It's more prestigious. I don't know, like playing the game of golf. Like, I love the trash talk. Like, give it to me. I can dish it. I can take, like, you know, the Ryder Cup, the Open, all of the different type of, you know, golf performances. To me, it's just different because they're literally like right there. I don't know. I'm not making any sense right now, but does that make any sense? Like, I just feel like golf kind of levels up, and I think some lines were crossed.
Okay, so my question to you, Josh, do you think? I still think there's lines you cannot cross, no matter the sporting event.
No, I agree, but I think there's a difference between trash talking, like in the stands at an NFL game, versus right there, Rory is right in front of you.
But see, I think the biggest difference was in Ryder Cup is like it's the one time, kind of like the waste management, where people feel like it's time to become
right.
It turns it into a sporting event during.
Yeah. Well, I guess in any sport, I would say that the line that shouldn't be crossed is really saying anything that just generally doesn't need to be said in front of, like,
Children?
Yeah.
Like vulgarities?
Like,
you can't spew vulgarities?
But if you don't cross that line, then you're fine. You know,
right.
because there's nothing worse as a or like, I don't know, have the kids that you're in charge of at an event where someone's saying things that you are like, yeah, we got, you know, like.
Well, Rory said it too. I mean,
yeah,
he had some very choice words back.
I know.
So it goes to the player as well, just as a fan.
And then at some level, you've got to have a little thicker skin. For example, on Instagram, Rory was buttoning his shirt, and one of the fans goes, "Hey Rory, you don't need a button to choke."
Yeah.
And Rory stops and looks and points. He goes, "That's good. That was a pretty good one."
Yeah.
Like you got me. Him and Shane
one.
Lowry started laughing because they thought it wasn't a line issue.
Right.
It was just, and it wasn't personal. And even as basketball officials, one of the things that they talk about is, you know, you're going to get yelled at. You're going to get from coaches, from fans. But the big deal is anytime you start to make it personal, like you suck or you this or your mama. I mean, when you start making it personal,
busting out the yo mama jokes,
then that's when things start changing. They become.
What do you think?
I think there's tournaments.
Is Rory just a baby?
Well, I think, but I didn't hear some of the things that were said because
Because he had some good comebacks himself.
Well, he had some because one, I know Rory has had some things off the field or off the course, things that you could have attacked with.
Well, and some did with his wife,
and all those things that when you start doing that, that's just totally wrong.
Yeah.
I disagree with that. If you're going to cheat on your wife and everyone knows about it, then you should.
Well, that was alleged. It was alleged. It was alleged.
Allegedly, he's a cheater.
But I still think so. Again, allegedly.
He's like, I don't even know how to respond to that.
But no. So anyway, it was an interesting weekend. Ryder Cup. Bottom line is U.S. losing again. And now
Again.
Yeah, stuck again. Anyway, bottom of the hour, we're going to talk about the Cowboys kissing their sister. Thoughts of ideas on why in the world the NFL still ends in a tie. Real quick, we got about 2 minutes left.
Penalty kicks.
Well,
Yes, I hate it.
Well, hey, Aubrey, we're going to just start and move back and play horse.
Yeah.
How entertaining would that be, though?
It would be very entertaining.
It would be amazing.
You start at the 30-yard line, kick, like
we would actually
back,
win.
Kick, move back, kick.
Yeah. And
the amount of pressure on the kicker in that situation would be outstanding.
And
yes.
we actually some games.
Oh, no doubt. I saw a picture last night of Tommy talking to Aubrey and it said, "Go talking to Aubrey."
Yeah.
Anyway, so kiss her sister, got a chance to maybe upgrade. So anyway, that's everyone. So I report. The European on this side of the pond. Again, congratulations to Rebecca Lawson from Jim Ned, our the top Major League Baseball, Bochy gone. All the things. But when we come back, what for my town segment, Coach Mike fell down, and then all back right after this.
Yay.
How are you? Mike Fitch, Josh Greer.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Okay. Yeah. What kind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey,
We had to.
yeah, and I was like, yeah, you had to, but I was like,
Well,
I was upset about the overtime because I just went to bed and I didn't drive back.
well, and so we found a place to park. And of course, Ag's like, and so, but then trying to get out because we weren't up by column. You know, but yeah.
Like brother. I was on there, he asked if I
our couch.
Okay, we're gonna pick real quick before we do this. So we have to get ready.
Well, not bad.
Yeah, everybody get up. I mean, I'm gonna do this part. Okay, here we go.
Man, last night I had this photo booth at the Villa thing. That
It actually produces well. That was normally we just do a selfie, but you'll be here.
so did you say
Yeah.
your brother?
Yes.
So you don't actually, yeah.
Okay.
I know, I'm super bummed I can't go to the game tonight. Because it's Corey's birthday. We're going to Brady's.
I would say listen to it while you're there, but
I know,
internet service out there is not great.
yeah. And it's like his actual birthday, so
Well, I'm sure there'll be a few more people there.
I know.
Well, and that's what I said.
Very easily.
Well, I said Gymnet's not playing tonight, so there'll be people from there.
Yes. Collins wants to watch at Wiley East. She's a great cheerleader there. And
It'll be interesting.
yes.
Not as many pre-sale visitor side as I thought.
Really?
Which means either we're gonna get slammed at the gate or, I mean,
Or they're going to watch it at home on their couch.
heard about our.
Cowboy game.
They don't wanna-
They don't want to get across town at 3 a.m.
That's right.
Honestly.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, there's.
Well, one thing you'll know is you'll at least have superintendent out there drinking.
Yeah, yeah. Right, assistant soups, and, yeah, all four of them doing something.
Welcome back, and when you hear that, you know it's Big Country Electric Cooperative taking care of them every day. Player coach program and stuff. Today, we're going to help, I guess, not run, but coordinate, direct all the programs at Wiley. Joining us, the athletic director from Wiley, Coach Mike Fetchy. How many people got your name mixed up with the other doctor?
A lot, yeah. Yeah, interesting last name. You know, first day of school was always a lot of fun for me because it's spelled F-E-C-C-I, which looks like Feces.
Right.
So I was Mike Feces first day of school.
Yeah, it could have been a lot better.
better.
Never mind. Dr. Fetchy sounds a lot better.
Fauci's better than Feces.
Yeah. No doubt. Again, Coach Fetchy, familiar not only purple and gold at Wiley, but our folks, our listeners, about your journey kind of to where, how you landed at Wiley.
Yeah, well, I grew up in San Antonio, played football down there, and I came to college in the early 90s and played at Hardin Simmons for Coach Keeling, Coach Wardis, and those guys. Got into coaching, went back to Metroplex, and was in the Metroplex for about 26 years. And this opportunity came out open, and Amy, my wife, graduated from ACU, so it was the first time in our married lives that we didn't have kids to factor into our move decision. And so I said, why don't we just go back out there where we started this whole thing and get on? So we did. And so it's been a great.
Talking about this, Josh and Chris. The best thing for Simmons is to be a coach. The coaching tree that's in the state of out to colleges, country tree from Hardin Simmons is pretty impressive.
It's very coaches from such a small place, and not only that, the impact some of these guys have had in their career. I'll start naming them and get in trouble because I missed one. But Drew Sanders at Austin Vandergrift and Clint Hartman out at Midland Lear Legacy, which one you want to call it.
Wait till the next vote.
Yeah,
I think it's now.
I think it's it's all over the state. You mentioned the college aspect, Craig Maurer, Will Wagner, and some of the guys I played with.
Where's
Jones have. Everyone in that locker room was going to be a coach. There is a bunch of them. Yeah, we're everywhere.
Well, and you talk about, one that we have frequently on the show. You got Mitch Abels
Yeah.
at Hawley, who athletic people I've ever known. I mean, it's like he could have played football at Hardin Simmons, which he did,
Yeah.
and probably Hart would have used him on the basketball court
Yeah.
if needed. And so, but so you come here, and Josh graduated and went to Wiley, and I grew up competing against Wiley, being from Merkel, and it's interesting how these programs have changed to where the athletic director is needed at places like that to be able to take some of that off of coaches. So what would you say has been the most difference from going from wearing the headset to being an athletic director?
Well, the obvious difference that jumps out is you don't have the daily interaction with kids that you had before. You're dealing strictly with pretty much adults all the time, which is fine. Every year I am 4 years removed from being on lines, and every Friday that's right. What it's about. And, I miss it for sure. It is a big difference. Like I said, the biggest one is you're healthy. I'm lucky enough to get enough interaction with kids because of our setup. When I was associate athletic director in the central office, I never saw kids ever. So this is pretty special for me.
You said probably and having